Hi. For quite a while, I've been wanting to share with you an antidote that's been given me for anxiety. And I'm going to give it to you the same way I've given it to every client that has ever asked for this kind of help. I like to think of it as writing a prescription. Here's my prescription pad. Can you see it? At some point in time, I had fun and made a bunch of pads that say, "I need do nothing except not to interfere." This is a quote from A Course in Miracles. It's a great reminder to psychotherapists, ministers, and teachers. We need do nothing except not to interfere and allow God's wisdom and love to flow through us. Of course, people come to psychotherapists often because they're anxious, and on my spiritual path, I've been given a Sanskrit mantra to use for many purposes, one of which is to remove fear. And that's all anxiety is. It's a fancy, more abstract word for fear. So I pick up my pad, my prescription pad, and I write on it, Om Namashivaya. Om Namashivaya. Here it is. I'm not sure that you can read it. Om Namashivaya. Om Namashivaya. Now, I have asked myself, since I'm a Course in Miracles student and teacher, how come I'm using a Sanskrit mantra rather than a phrase from the Course, such as, "I rest in God," or "I am the light of the world." And I do use those phrases. There is nothing to fear. There are 365 pithy phrases in the workbook for students in A Course in Miracles, and any of those that resonate with you are excellent to antidote anxiety. I found for myself that the powerful Sanskrit mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, worked even better for me because it took me out of my head. It took me out of the English language. It took me out of definitions, labels, names, interpretations, all the meanings that I assign to things, which is exactly what A Course in Miracles is training us to do. Part of the mind training that A Course in Miracles gives us is becoming more self-aware, or we might say observing the ego with the Holy Spirit and developing a really good understanding of how the ego works. So I'm going to just use the phrase raising our self-awareness. I'm suggesting that you use Om Namah Shivaya each time you become aware that you're anxious, which means paying attention to the first signs of anxiety, so perhaps you can catch it before it's more full-blown, and notice what you think that escalates your fears. And replace them. Make a conscious choice to choose again a better way. And I'm suggesting that Om Namah Shivaya is one of countless better ways to think. So if you're thinking, "I'm worried about how I'm going to pay my bills," and notice that that escalates all the way to, "I will lose everything and be destitute on the street." And how quickly we get there. So then choose again. Rather than, "I am worried that I cannot pay my bills," say, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And then notice that the thought may come back exactly the same or slightly different. And when you catch yourself, go back to Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. You can use Om Namah Shivaya all day long. You can say it silently in your own mind. And you might wonder, will I get anything done if I spend my whole day saying Om Namah Shivaya? Well, I promise you, you will get more done than spending your whole day saying, I am worried that I cannot pay my bills, which you are saying many, many, many more times than you're consciously aware of. And believe me, it is undermining your happiness. Sanskrit is primarily a vibrationally based language, so the most important thing is to connect to the vibration. And for some of us, and for a long time for myself, I preferred not to know what Om Namashivaya meant, and just to relax into the powerful vibration that it offered me. It can be translated, though, and I'll leave that to you. You can Google. There are many, many ways to research Om Namashivaya if you feel the need for that. Or just trust me on this one and have the experience. Now you can chant Om Namashivaya silently, or you can talk it aloud, or you can even make it musical and put rhythms and melodies to it. You can find those on CDs or on YouTube and use a melody you come across that you like, or you can make one up. And you can do Om Namah Shivaya in any rhythm. You can do it quickly, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Or you can do it slowly, Om Namah Shivaya. Or somewhere in between. Part of the healing of using this mantra is finding your own rhythm, your own melody, your own inner song, which is another way of saying your own inner teacher, your own inner physician, as I think John Upledger, who does craniosacral teaching, calls it, or your own inner psychotherapist. Use it well. Many blessings. Until the next time, namaste.